Hi guys! Today I'm going to be doing a video on what it's like being an American living in Europe. And if you didn't know, I am currently in Germany. So that is the country that I've resided in for about a year and 3 months ago. So I've been here for about a year. So I do know the differences between the quality of life. One of y'all actually asked me on my Instagram the differences between living in both countries, and I have a lot. And honestly, my opinion is kind of biased because I am born and raised in the US, in Texas, northern Texas. I've lived there my whole entire life. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes because I wrote everything down, and I know I'm going to leave out some stuff, so just bear with me. I might leave it in the description, more stuff that I remember along the way. But so far, this is all the information I've gathered within the past day because I got asked to do this video last night. So I was just gathering all my thoughts today. I even asked my husband for some help too because he is from the same state I am. We're both born and raised in Texas, in North Texas. And we moved here. Well, he moved here about 2 years ago and I moved here about a year and 3 months ago. I never in a million years thought I'd live outside of the United States. I knew from an early age that I wanted to leave Fort Worth, which is where I'm from, Fort Worth, Texas. But I didn't think I'd move countries. I just thought I'd move to like California, Florida, New York. Like it was just somewhere in the States. It wasn't out of the country. But I'm very grateful for it. I don't want this video to be like bashing Europe because I love it here. I'm grateful for the opportunities. But realistically, I miss home and I'm used to the life there. And don't get me wrong, like I love it, but I just miss home. My experiences of living here are my own and through my lens of perception. It's based off my opinion. You might have a different experience. Or say if a girl from Chicago moved here, she might have a different experience. Or somebody that moved from Florida, they're gonna all have different experiences than me. And you will too, because we are not the same. But yeah, I just wanted to add a disclaimer because this is my experience and it's through my perception. So because I live in Germany, and might be different for somebody that's like living in France, or my cousin is in Korea right now and he has a completely different overseas experience than I do here in Germany. And I've been to France. I see the different quality of life between France and Germany. I see the different quality of life from Spain and Germany. Like I just see it all. So this is just based off where I'm from right now. So I'm gonna start off with the pros because I wanna be positive. The pros of living here is that traveling is cheap. For example, you can get a train ticket to Paris for 2 people for only 200 euro, which is about, don't quote me on this because the currency changes, but that's about like 250 USD. Wait, actually, let me look it up, hold on. So 200 euro right now equals to 242 United States dollars. So I was close. Obviously, I'm not putting into consideration the hotel or food or all of that, but it's relatively cheap. That's the one thing I love about living here is that I can travel wherever for a reasonable price. Someone as young as me and Nick being able to travel, like that's a blessing, and I'm thankful for that. And it's because I do live here. Another pro is that it's very calm and peaceful here. There's a lot of trees, a lot of mountains. I feel very at peace here. I'm from a busy city in the States. There's traffic. It's just a very fast-paced environment, at least where I live. Like my dad lives in the country in Texas and it's a little bit more peaceful. So that's why I say my opinion is a little bit biased, but it's very calm here. I noticed my anxiety has lessened being here. There's a ton of hiking trails you can go on. There's a bunch of castles you can visit. Another pro is that some parts of the Autobahn are no speed limit. So the Autobahn here is what we call a freeway or a highway back in Texas. There's some parts where there's absolutely no speed limit. So somebody can be going like 200 km. It's just crazy how fast they can go here. But with that being said, I do notice there are no wrecks here. I think I've seen 2 wrecks here. And in the States, I would see 1 or 2 every other day or daily, you know. It's just really hard to obtain a driver's license in Germany. So that's why I think it's a lot more safer to drive, just because people are more cautious. Yeah, that's really cool that we don't have a speed limit. I love going fast. Another pro, I just see bikes on the roads. You'll see four-wheelers on the road. It's not illegal to ride a bike on the busy road. It's not illegal to ride a four-wheeler on the busy road like it is in Texas. So I guess that's a pro if you're into that. And then now to the cons. And there's a lot of cons. I mean, I love it here, y'all. There's a lot of cons. So the cons are, and I don't want to get hate or seem like an entitled American, because I appreciate some of the cons because they conserve energy and they're better for the environment. But these are just some personal cons that me and my husband as an American think are inconvenient. The first one is you have to pay for plastic bags. And you also have to bag your own groceries. So literally you have to bring reusable bags, or if you forget them, you have to pay for the plastic bags. And they're like an extra 20-30 cents. But there's times when I've been to the mall and I just buy like one or two things and I have to carry it around everywhere. Or like say I go to H&M and I forget to bring my reusable bag and I buy like 3 or 4 items of clothes. I just have to carry it around. And I like that they have that rule because it saves plastic bags everywhere. It's better for the environment, all of that, but it's sometimes like an inconvenience. And also in Aldi, because Aldi is a German company and I know it's in the States too. The workers can sit down and they don't have to bag your groceries. So that's a rule here too. The workers can sit down and not bag your groceries. So it's basically the customer doing all of the work. And then another con is that there's no AC anywhere. Like I have some German friends and they don't even have AC in their house. I've never been inside of her house, but she told me, like I asked her personally, and she says no, they don't have AC. And then say if you're shopping and you're in a dressing room, and this happened in France too, so I know this applies to all over the European Union, but I was sweating profusely, like sweating, because there's no AC, like at all. In the malls, in the stores, they use a lot of fans, and I get why they don't have AC because Germany's in the northern hemisphere, so it's very cold here majority of the time. The only time it gets really hot is during the summer, so like June, July, August. But during those months you're like miserable because of how hot it is. But I know you can buy separate AC units, and that's what me and my husband did. Like we live in an apartment and we don't have AC. We went ahead and bought a separate unit to have AC in our house, you know? Really common here, like nobody has AC. For example, I wanted like a little stationary bike to exercise with, and I bought it off Facebook Marketplace from this guy in another city, and Nick went with me obviously to pick it up. But we went inside of his apartment and there was no AC. It was very hot, and to most Germans that's normal, but for me as an American it was shocking that there's no AC anywhere. But during the winters, like I said, it gets super cold here, it's snowy, and we have heaters, obviously. There's heaters built in everywhere. And then everything is closed on Sunday, even apps. There's certain selling apps, and even those apps are closed on Sundays. Like for example, in Texas, I would use OfferUp, and I would use 5 Miles, and separate apps from Facebook Marketplace to sell things. In Germany, they have their own here. I don't know the name of it, but I remember somebody telling me that the app is actually closed on Sundays. Like they don't allow you to sell things on Sundays because they're very big on rest, you know, and spend time with your family. It's just a different society overall. America is capitalism central, and I'm guessing the rest of the world isn't. I mean, I'm not sure how it is in the rest of the world, but from where I'm at in Germany, they don't value that. They value family. They don't value fast-paced work environments. That's more of an American thing. Here it's more calm, family values, spend time with your family, all of that. So with that being said, like everything is closed on Sundays. So say you want to go to IKEA, it's closed on Sundays. Say if you want to go to, we don't have Walmart here, but we have this store called Globus. Even the Globus is closed on Sundays. It's just wild that everything is closed on Sundays. Mostly everything is closed. And then to follow that, I want to say that it's crazy weird hours. I remember one time Nick and I went to a separate city, maybe like 20-30 minutes away from us, and it was a Friday night or Friday afternoon. It was like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. We went inside this pho place, or we tried to go inside, and it was closed. They were like closed from 4 to 6. I thought that was such an inconvenience. Don't you want to like have customers make money off of your business? But no, they value, like I said, family values, and I just thought it was so odd that a place wasn't open in the middle of the day. but every country is different, you know, and I realized that, and it was just a culture shock because I remember like, why would they be closed on a Friday night? That's just crazy to me. And then another thing is, if you are very dependent on sun to be happy, well, if you live here, it's just straight gloomy weather, with the exception of summer. Like right now it's summer, so it's very sunny days and I love it. The sun doesn't go down because I'm in the northern hemisphere, so it doesn't go down until like 9 or 10 p.m. at night. You'll see some blue and it's 10:40. You can see very faint blue still from the sun, so that's really nice. We have really bright and sunny summers, but any other time of the year, like spring, fall, winter, it's gloomy, it's gray, and it's quote unquote depressing. I say that because the majority of people might find it depressing. I've learned to love it. Honestly, I love gloomy weather now. You won't get a tan. I'm very white. I remember last year, Nick's sister FaceTimed me for my birthday, and her boyfriend was like, whoa, you look German because I'm so white. So I just take a vitamin D supplement because, you know, it's just gloomy. Oh, and then another thing that's different, I don't want to say cons, these are just different for me to see as an American, but everything is in a different metric unit. So our oven is not in Fahrenheit, it is in Celsius. Because I wasn't taught to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius in school. I mean, y'all might have been taught that, but I wasn't. So I had to buy a conversion chart. And then you drive, it's not in miles per hour, it's in km. So I just changed the setting on my Audi, I just changed it to km. Everything is in a different metric unit and it is so weird. I'll ask my friends how tall they are here in Germany and they'll say blank centimeters. And I'm just, I'm 5'4", but they just use a different metric unit, you know? And I had a friend from Spain who lived in Spain, and she was from Spain, born there. And I asked her how tall she was, and she was like, oh, I don't know the American units, but I know like 150 centimeters. And I was like, what? I had to look it up. It's just crazy to me that every single country in the world uses a different metric unit than the States. So it was a bit of a culture shock, but me and my husband got the hang of it so far. Another big thing, which is expected, is absolutely no fast food. With the exception of McDonald's. McDonald's is everywhere. And I know they have Pizza Hut and Burger King here. But other than that, there's absolutely no fast food. It is true what they say about America. It's the biggest fast food central country in the world. It's crazy to me, the difference, because I know Nick and I, sometimes we would go to In-N-Out at like 1 in the morning. We'd have a little date, or me and my friends would go to Walmart at like 3 in the morning, or we'd go to Taco Bell at 11, or in high school during Friday night football games, we'd all go to Whataburger after the game, which at like midnight or 1 in the morning. And it's crazy to me that here they don't have that at all. There's no fast foods, and if they are open, they're only open until 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. and it just tastes different. I will say the McDonald's tastes a lot better here than in the States, and their sizes are completely different. The size of a large milkshake at Burger King is this size, extra small in the States, but it's a large here, so the sizes are completely different here. But I guess that's good because they care about the health of everybody. But a lot of people ask me this, if there's like skinny people everywhere in Europe, and honestly, I'd say it's about the same. There's fat people here too. I'm just gonna say it. There's fat people here too. There's skinny people here too. But I do want to mention that the clothes here are very tight. So I know my husband is a very tall and slender man, and even he said the clothes were tight. Like, so for him to even say that, that says something. So the clothes do fit a little bit tighter. The sizes are completely different. The jeans sizes are like 28, 29, 30, and the shoe sizes don't go like 6, 7, 8. It's completely different. I don't know, I don't want to botch it. Another thing is all of the lights turn off, even the street lights at like 8 or 9 p.m. Even traffic lights are off, the red, green, and yellow lights, to conserve energy, which is good. I mean, that's good. But I remember the first time I went to the gym, like 7 p.m. I got out at 9 or 10, and there was no street lights, and I had to call Nick because I couldn't see anything. Because I live in a city in Germany, but it's honestly kind of the country, so you couldn't see anything. And I was, how am I gonna get home? I can't see anything because there's no lights. I don't know if it's like that in major cities like Frankfurt, Berlin, but at least where I am at, all of the lights are off, and you can see the stars. They just conserve a lot of energy here. Traffic lights, they're off. Nick wanted me to say that there's tons of speed traps, but there's speed traps in Texas too, but he just wanted me to mention that there's a lot more here. And then, oh yeah, everything is in military time. So, which is fine because my husband is in the military and I have learned military time. But say if you were not affiliated with the military and you came here, you'd have to learn military time, because my friends will text me like, let's meet up at 1600, and I'm like, okay. And the food portions are really small. My husband wanted me to say that too. I honestly don't think so, because burgers here are so big, but I'm also from Texas and everything is just bigger in Texas. I will say that, and there's no big gulps or large drinks. I mean, if you go on a military base, there is big, large drinks, but if you're out in the German economy, you'll see no large drinks. The largest they go is like a medium size. That's a large here. Oh yes, Germans stare. So I don't know if it's just me who's actually no, because I've came across TikToks of like people moving here from another city, country, wherever they moved from, and they just say that Germans have a staring problem. I don't want to be mean, but they do stare. They'll stare at you. I don't know if it's because they know I'm American, or I don't know if they stare at other Germans too, but they stare at you hardcore. And at first it was a little bit hard to get used to, because I don't like when people stare at me, but I've learned that it's gonna be different. If you're in another country, you have to realize that there's different customs. It's a different way of life. I don't think people are trying to be rude when they stare, you know? So I've just learned to like, just smile. I feel like they're not the friendliest people, but I also came from the southern part of the US. And if y'all don't know, South has southern hospitality, so everybody's really sweet and kind. So I'm just used to that, and coming here, there wasn't really much of that. But don't get me wrong, my German friends, and they're very sweet. I'm not saying they are, but just like random strangers, you know? My husband wanted to say that there's no personal space either. People have a different meaning of personal space, I guess, in the States, and it's just, there's no personal space here. That's just all of the ideas I could think of today. A lot of people said they wanted me to film this, so I was like, okay, let me hurry up and jot my ideas. But I'm in no way bashing the country I'm in, because I love living here. These are just the differences I've spotted from living in Texas and living here. That being said, I just miss home a lot. I miss my family and friends, fast food, and also about religion too. I wanted to talk about that too. The main religion here is, I believe, Christianity, because a few German friends I have, they're Christian. The second religion most known here is Islam. Yeah, there's a lot of Turkish people in Germany, and most of them are Muslims too, so I think that's the second most known religion here, you could say. But I just wanted to add that if y'all were curious. I know in the States, well, where I'm from, Christianity is pretty big. I don't identify with Christianity, with the Christian religion, but I do believe in God, so it's just different here. I know it might look like spiritualism is a big here because that's what I promote, but again, that's just my perception and my views of things. They're gonna be different people around me, so. But yeah, guys, that's all for this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love when y'all give me video suggestions because it really helps me out. And yeah, I didn't even think of making this video, so thank y'all again. Have a wonderful day. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video.